Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to another adventure into the incomprehensible. I like to think of myself as a thinking person, a reflective man, someone not given to fanciful imaginings. That's the way I like to think of myself. But is that the way I am? Because I must admit that my thinking has not solved many problems for me. My reflections have not carried me very far. So now and again I find it extremely salutary to indulge in fanciful imaginings, to take a short walk into the world of obscurantism. For, as you will hear one of our characters say, the mind makes so many mistakes. Our mystery drama, Sunset to Sunrise, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Marion Seldes. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, and by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Oh, sure. You can talk about good-tasting diet drinks, but I know. I'm Goldilocks, and here at my taste-testing laboratory, I taste-test them all. And nobody's been drinking my diet drinks until I tested sugar-free Diet 7-Up. And then, kabloomy! Every bear wanted some. Diet 7-Up is fresh, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
AMCO Transmissions, Chuck speaking. How may we help you?
Oh, boy, have I got problems. I got a really fantastic 58 Pontiac with a busted automatic transmission and a mother-in-law that's been visiting me for 10 days.
well, we can help you with the Pontiac.
No, don't kid a desperate man. Now, look, can you really fix up a car that old?
Oh, sure. AMCO serviced over 3 million automatic transmissions, and over 400,000 of them were Pontiacs. We know Pontiac's cold.
Pontiac, Ventura, and the Firebird, and the Bonneville, Catalina, and also Grand Prix.
Terrific. Okay, now look, you send the tow truck and I'll help her pack.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah. The 58 Pontiac belongs to my mother-in-law.
Aw, nobody knows her automatic transmission better than AMCO. Double A, MCO.
There are over 500 AMCO centers coast to coast. Consult your yellow pages for the AMCO center near you. AAMCO, AMCO.
It's over. I've done it. And the mutilated body lies silent and still at my feet. Let her release come soon. Let me try to explain how I came to do this awful thing. It will be necessary to go back, far back, even to the day I was born, or farther than that, to the hour when, awash in her warm blood, I felt myself pushed down that dark canal into the chilling light. Oh, yes, the woman who lies before me is my mother. But I shall content myself with reverting to the day of her funeral, a gray and dismal day. A long line of villagers passed by the open coffin. I waited with my father until the last of them should have finished viewing the corpse.
Marie isn't here.
She will be, Father.
And Peter?
Oh, I'm not so sure about Peter.
His own mother not to be here?
He's drowning his sorrow, I think.
Oh, you were right about Marie. Here she comes.
But how strange she looks. How quite distraught.
I wouldn't know why. She never had any affection for her mother-in-law.
Hello, Marie. We were worried.
Oh, I'm not too late, am I?
No, the funeral hasn't even started.
I mean, they haven't closed the coffin.
Not yet.
Good.
I suppose Peter's...
Where does your brother go when he's needed somewhere?
To a bar. I know.
At least today, Marie, try to think kindly of your husband.
You think kindly of him? He's your son.
We can move up now. Marie, you go first.
No. Let your father go first.
Father.
Oh, all right.
How sad. How small he looks.
Yes. Small.
You go next, Marie. Marie stood for a second or two by the open coffin, then moved on. Now it was my turn. My eyes filled suddenly with tears. And when I looked down at the quiet body, the expressionless face of my mother, I could scarcely make out her features. I shook the tears away, and I made an effort to see her clearly. Across her breast lay a long spray of wild roses. Without conscious thought, I did what I had never done while she lived. I leaned over and kissed her on the lips. The funeral was over. I sat dry-eyed through it all, and I saw the tears stream down my father's face. After it was over, he said to me,
Would you walk home with me, Una?
Of course I will, Father.
Do you think you could stay and talk for a while? Maybe I could fix you a little supper.
Oh, I'd like that very much.
Ilya won't mind?
Oh, it doesn't matter about Ilya. I took his hand. He let me have it like a trusting child. And we started down the road. The familiar landscape had embraced me all my life, and now it brought back sights and sounds from long ago. And on this day, most particularly, the sight and sound of my mother as I had known her. I saw her handsome, flushed face. I heard her voice.
How sharper than a serpent's tooth to have a thankless child. Oh, what have I done that was so wrong? Why am I being punished? To be given a daughter with no shame, no morals, no sense of decency.
My father trudged on beside me without speaking. His tears had dried. He looked as he'd always looked. Very sweet, very simple. She had been the single love of his life. I had never heard him speak of any other woman. He'd fallen in love with her when she was 16 and waited 5 years to marry her.
It was my mother who got me to marry him. But he wasn't really of my world. Nothing intellectual about him. What could you expect of a farmer?
But marry him she did. And he never asked for anything else. The 2 children she bore him, first my brother Peter, and then me, well, we were simply 2 minor gifts she added to the supreme one of herself. And Peter always belonged more to her than to him.
It's hell to be poor, Peter. Never let it happen to you. Oh, the stories I could tell you about what poverty can do to the ardent soul.
It took Peter a while to get started, but once he got his foot on the ladder, he climbed steadily to the top. And along the way, he married the prettiest girl in town, the dark-eyed Marie.
We're here, Una.
What?
You were dreaming. We're at the house.
Oh, yeah, I must have been dreaming.
Oh, it's a long time. Very long time since you've been in the old house.
2 years.
You're happy living with Ilya?
I don't ask to be happy.
But you're pleased with the arrangement?
It pleases us both.
Go on in.
It looks the same.
Well, nothing's changed. Can I get you something? A hot drink?
No, you sit down and I'll get you something. Oh, take off your coat. Let me help you.
Yes, thank you.
What's this? What's inside your coat?
What? Oh, that I forgot.
Well, it's sewn in. Did you do that? What is it?
Well, it's a sprig of blackthorn.
Well, that's what I thought. Why is it sewn inside your coat?
Marie put it there.
Well, what on earth for?
Una, sit down now. You know, Marie's a strange girl. She came here from another country and where they believe strange things.
Such as what?
Well, you must know. Ilya must have told you.
Ilya's parents were gypsies, but he's not.
But he hasn't forgotten, has he? What they believe, the gypsies.
You don't mean that you...
They believe in the living dead. The dead who refuse to die.
You mean vampires? That is what you mean, isn't it?
I never said I believed.
But you let her sew the blackthorn into your coat?
Well, I couldn't stop her.
But why now? Why today? Oh. You don't mean... Mother?
Marie believes your mother has become a vampire.
I wanted to laugh. We were sober, hard-working, God-fearing people. We were not superstitious, given to odd beliefs. But I looked into my father's face, and I could not laugh.
I've never believed, but...
But what?
I have heard that people of great energy, enormous will, with a surpassing belief in themselves, these are the people who will not die. They refuse to die. When death is upon them, they are so angry that they will not submit. You know, Una, what energy your mother had, what a dominating person she was, how much she believed in herself.
She never believed in us, only in herself.
That's the way she was. And they say that people like that would rather live the evil life of a vampire than not live at all.
Well, I can't believe it. It's horrible.
Well, I don't want to believe it, but Marie seems so sure.
Well, I'm going to talk to her right now. I won't stay for supper, but forgive me. I have to get this terrible notion out of Marie's head before she infects anyone else with it. I walked to the village, to the affluent section of the village where Marie and Peter lived. Their house sat on a beautiful green lawn surrounded by an iron fence with a big gate. I pushed it open, and I went inside and up the long gravel path.
Una, don't come any nearer.
Don't be absurd, Marie.
I don't want you in my house.
We have to talk about this crazy idea you have, Marie.
Your father told you.
I found the blackthorn you sewed into his coat.
It may protect him.
And it was you who put the wild roses on her body, wasn't it?
To keep her in her coffin. I had to do what I could.
Oh, but this is all a great foolishness, Marie. Whatever gave you such a crazy idea about your mother-in-law?
It's not a crazy idea. I felt it even before she died. I sensed that she'd never leave us alone. She'd rather turn into something loathsome and feed off us, drain our strength, drink our blood. And it's happening. It's happening. You want to come in the house? Come. I want you to come in. I want you to see your brother.
Is Peter all right?
All right? I don't know what you call all right. But look at him. There on the sofa.
Oh, Peter.
He's been that way since your mother died, and a good deal of the time before that. Do you think I've had a husband? Do you think that bloated hulk has been a man? Ever?
Oh, what has that to do with what?
Don't you know? Don't you know that vampires have such power over young married people? Don't you know that?
No.
Well, ask Ilya. He knows.
Ilya's not a gypsy, not anymore.
Ask his mother. Ask his father. Ask old Wanda Beresti. Ask
Oh, it's all fable and myth. It's not real.
Do you know that I may never have a child? Or you? Do you know that?
No.
If she decides, we'll be barren forever. That's the kind of power they have.
Oh, you'll never make me believe it.
You have got to believe. You of all people.
Why me?
Because you are a damn fire.
What's that? What is a damn fire?
One born of a vampire. Only a damn fire can see a vampire.
But I can't see my mother. I'm not a damn fire.
Go home. Go home, Una. One of these nights, between sunset and sunrise, you will see her.
We'll be back shortly with Act 2.
When you say Budweiser,
When you say Bud, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say Bud, you've said the word that means you like to do it all. When you say Bud, it means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number one.
when you say Bud, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one, there's only something less, because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser,
You've said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what you got?
How about a no-cook dinner for a change? Serve a delicious spread of sliced meats, cheeses, salads, and crisp rolls from ShopRite's appetizer counter. You'll love the freshness, the fine quality, and the pleasing variety. This week's bit supplies are ShopRite freshly sliced chicken roll, half-pound, 69 cents. Imported Switzerland Swiss cheese, half-pound, 89 cents. ShopRite liverwurst, 99 cents a pound. Fresh macaroni salad, 39 cents a pound. So relax. Pick up a ready-to-eat dinner at the ShopRite appetizer counter.
She loves the family. She wants the best. She does all that she can do. She lets ShopRite do the rest. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? ShopRite has the answer.
This is WOR New York, an RKO General Station, your station for Mystery Theater.
But they're all superstition, Una. Handed down from generation to generation.
You don't believe them.
I used to when I was very young. You see, the stories were always about very, very powerful people. I think they couldn't get used to the idea that very powerful people could actually die.
My mother was a very powerful woman.
Ah, but she died, like everybody else, sooner or later.
You never really knew my mother.
I wasn't welcome in her house.
I think I only came here to live with you to spite her. All my life she told me how immoral I was, how wicked, how filled with wild desires.
And you were?
Yes,
And you knew where to take those wild desires, didn't you?
yes,
And what man to give them to?
yes.
Well, lucky me.
It was to show her, to say yes to her. Yes, I am like that. Yes, I'm what you say. Yes, I'm loose and immoral and wicked and all those things. And yes, you're right not to love me because I'm not lovable. I'm hateful and vile.
No,
yes.
no. You are not hateful.
Oh, you don't know.
I know enough. Lie still now. Let me hold you.
Yes. Hold me.
What's that?
What's what?
I thought I heard something.
I don't hear anything.
Don't you hear it? Listen.
You don't...
It's a bat.
A bat? Turn on the light.
No, please. I don't want to see it.
Ilya, get rid of it.
I won't touch it.
What are you doing?
I'm putting on my clothes.
Why?
It's your mother. It's your mother, Una. She's back.
It's not. You said you didn't.
Never mind what I said. I was wrong.
It's a bat in the rafters. It's not my mother.
How do you know? How do you know for sure?
Be.
The old women were right. They come back, you see.
No.
They come back to live off the living and suck our blood.
Ilya, where are you going?
To my mother's house.
Ilya, don't go. Ilya. Mother? All night long, I lay in the dark, listening to the bats swoop and chatter in the rafters. Sunset to sunrise, I lay awake and listened. For as the warning light of the sun started to glow in the east, the bat was suddenly quiet. Hadn't Marie told me that the old stories all agreed that vampires could only venture out between sunset and sunrise? The bat was gone. And I was alone. Then came a pounding at the door. I got out of bed and I went to answer it. Had Ilya come back? Had he thought better of his foolish fears and come back? Ilya? Oh, Peter.
Let me in, Una.
Yes, come in.
I have to talk to you.
You're very drunk.
Never mind. Never mind about that. I have to ask you something important.
Well, first tell me why you didn't come to our mother's funeral.
Never mind about that either.
Marie was there.
Marie was not there. Not for the funeral. She went to the church to put some wild roses on the body. She didn't stay to see her buried. Not that she's really buried. Not that she'll ever be really buried. She'll be around for a long time till she's drained us all dry, and long after that, maybe forever, who knows? Do vampires ever really die?
Peter, stop that. Our mother is not a vampire.
Is it true? Marie says it's true.
Is what true, Peter?
Did you kiss her? When she was lying in her coffin, did you really kiss her?
Yes, I did.
Oh, no. Why did you do that?
I don't know quite. I think it was because I'd never kissed her before, and I was sorry that I hadn't.
Don't you know what you've done?
I haven't done anything.
You've put your lips to her poison. You've made yourself like her.
I haven't done anything. I said goodbye to her. I kissed her goodbye, that's all.
Don't you know that vampires spread their foul contagion on the living? Isn't it bad enough that you and I are damn fires just because she gave us birth?
Stop it. I don't want you to talk this way.
You and I can see her. Have you seen her?
Of course I haven't.
I have. Shall I tell you why I didn't come to the funeral? I was with her, that's why. She came to my room and stood in the door. She was very beautiful. She had on her white lace dress, and she smiled at me.
You were drunk.
She didn't mind. She just smiled. But then her smile grew wider and wider till the whole room was filled with her smile. It took away the sunshine. I tell you, Una.
Peter, oh, Lord. Come in. Peter, are you all right? Come in. The door's not locked. Oh, Marie.
Yes. I thought he'd be here. Oh, don't try to move him. Let him sleep it off.
He's just drunk.
He's been drunk for days. Let him lie there.
But just before you got here, he was trying to tell me that he saw our mother, that she came to his room.
Only the damp fires can see a vampire.
You made him believe it.
Because it's true. And Una, there's something else that's true, and you'd best know it. Only a damp fire can kill a vampire.
Kill?
The best we others can do is try to protect ourselves with the blackthorn and the wild roses and all that.
I will not listen.
There is something you can do. You could help us to protect ourselves.
Marie, I just don't believe in this superstitious...
You don't. But we do. Nobody's slept a wink since the day she died. Oh, they know she'll go after us first, but no one in the village is really safe.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Move the body across the river.
What for, in God's name?
Wanda Beresti says it's very difficult for a vampire to cross over water.
I don't believe any of this. I don't believe it's happening.
Well, it's happening, all right. And everyone believes it, but you... You can't make the rest of us live in this torment because you refuse to believe.
You could be right.
You will move the body across the river?
Oh, I'll have to talk to Father.
Oh, talk to him. Talk to him now. Before it's too late.
I left Marie to get Peter home the best way she could. And I started off for my father's house. How could I ask him to disinter the body of his beloved wife only 2 days after she'd been laid to rest? What kind of daughter would nourish the horrid thought in her father's mind that his wife might be a vampire? Oh, how I needed someone to tell me what to do.
Una!
Hello, Father. May I come in?
Of course you may come in. Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
You're all right, aren't you?
Yes, I'm all right. Una, can you stay for a little while?
As long as you like.
Oh, good. I could make a little supper if you could stay that long.
Father, Peter came to see me today.
Oh? How was he?
Drunk. But not so drunk that he couldn't say what he came to say.
And what was that?
That I had contaminated myself when I kissed my mother's mouth as she lay in her coffin.
Oh, my dear girl.
Do you believe that, Father?
Oh, my dear, I'm so confused.
You do believe it?
I don't know what to believe anymore.
And Marie came to see me, too.
Oh, yes? Well, what did she want?
Marie wants Mother's coffin moved to the other side of the river.
Oh, your mother is buried in the family plot. I promised her. Why does she want the body moved?
Marie says that to cross water is very hard for vampires. I could hardly bear the torment in my father's face. It's so hard when everyone around you believes one thing, to stand alone and believe another. I kissed my father gratefully. Grateful for his kindness, his patience. He asked me to stay the night. There was still my old room. I lay down on the narrow bed, but my eyes would not close. I stared at the black square I knew to be the window. Beyond the door, I could hear my father washing the supper dishes. Then I heard it. Very faint, but unmistakable. Someone tapping on the window pane. I lay rigid in the narrow bed. And then I heard...
Is that how a vampire sounds? I don't know, or I'd tell you. Half a century ago, a vampire was actually tried in a London court. A gentleman it was, by the name of George Haig. Unhappily, we have no record of the gentleman's voice, and it all happened so long ago, I've no idea whether or not he was ever convicted. I'll be back shortly with Act 3.
Great taste in the morning. Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. You know, for years we've been talking about the Special K breakfast, a great way to start the day if you have a weight problem. You may have seen or heard our latest commercials, which symbolize the problem of being a few pounds overweight by using this ball and chain. That's the sound effect. But so many people have come to know the Special K breakfast that can help solve weight problems, they sometimes forget that Special K is America's favorite high-protein cereal. It has 8 essential vitamins and iron, and so delicious that lots of folks, kids as well as adults, eat Special K just for the sheer good taste of it. So we don't want you to think that you have to wear a ball and chain to eat Special K. All you need is an appreciation for the finer things of life, a 1-ounce bowl of Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, coffee, and maybe a little sugar. The Special K breakfast can help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
Here's news from Queen Elizabeth II. Now you can sail to Europe on Queen Elizabeth II and fly home free. I'll repeat that. Sail to Europe on Queen Elizabeth II and fly back to New York free. She reaches Europe in 5 luxurious days. You have ample time for touring because you fly back. Meals and entertainment on board are included. A whole new crowd of people are discovering Queen Elizabeth II because she's affordable. And she's 4 swimming pools, 3 nightclubs, a discotheque, a gymnasium, a sauna, a casino, and 3 of the finest restaurants in the world. Sail first class grades A to H and fly home free. Sail tourist grades L to Q and S to U and fly home half fare. Flights are British Airways economy. You can stay in Europe up to 16 days. Call your travel agent or Cunard at 212-983-2510. Sail to Europe on Queen Elizabeth II and fly home free. Great ships of British registry since 1840.
No matter what you're saving for, that's what Suburban Savings for Suburban.
Suburban Savings offers you an easy way to borrow without touching a penny in your regular savings passbook account. Just let Suburban loan you the money. It's called Suburban Savings Passbook Loan. You can borrow up to 90% of the total amount you have on deposit at reasonable rates, and you can pay off your loan at your convenience. When your loan is repaid, you still have all of your savings intact, plus interest. So if you need money, why not take a loan from Suburban without touching your savings? Suburban Savings Passbook Loan in New Jersey at Bayonne, Edgewater, Elmwood Park, Emerson, Hackettstown, Morris Plains, Nutley, Paramus, and Sparta.
Jumped from the bed and ran to the window. There was no moon, but the stars were very bright. Bright enough so that the trees cast wavering shadows on the grass. And then I saw her beneath a poplar tree just outside the window, dressed in white lace, her long hair falling to her waist. She lifted her face to the window, and by the light of the stars I saw it. Not hideous, not obscene, no, beautiful as it had been in life, but transfigured now by such appalling grief as I had never seen before. The dark eyes staring, the cheeks glistening with tears, the mouth stretched wide as it cried. I needed my father. I could not bear the sight of this apparition by myself. I heard him moving about in the kitchen, and I ran to him. Oh, Father! Father! She's here!
What, dear? What did you say?
She's here! Mother is here!
Is she?
No. She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Where is she?
Outside the window. I heard her calling me, and I went to the window, and I saw her standing under the tree, and... Oh, Father... She looks so sad.
Oh, my dear little girl, you've had a dream.
It's not a dream. She's there.
So soon after the funeral, it's natural for you to dream.
You'll come with me. I'll show you.
You're overwrought, dear child.
Come with me, you'll see. If there were a moon, you'd see quite clearly, but even by the starlight, you can see. Look there.
Where? I don't see it.
Beneath the big poplar tree, right there.
I don't see anything.
In her white dress. Look at her.
I can't see anything. Nothing but the grass and a few shadows, that's all.
That's all?
Oh, my dear child, you had a dream.
No dream. I saw her. But you can't see her. She must be a vampire, and I am a damn fire.
What are you saying?
Only the offspring of a vampire can see the vampire. Peter said he saw her. I know I saw her. We are her offspring, Peter. And I are vampires.
Oh, no, please, you don't know what you're saying.
Oh, I know very well. Only a vampire can see a vampire. And only a vampire can kill a vampire. Well, then
What are you doing, Ona?
Gonna open this window?
No, don't.
And invite her in. Mother, come in. Come in. Your daughter is waiting to receive you. My father rushed from the room.
I can't stay. I can't watch. I can't.
I stood by the window, waving to the white figure beneath the poplar tree. It was several minutes before she moved, and then very slowly, with uncertain steps, she came toward the window. She looked up at me like a child that is not certain of her welcome.
Una?
You've come back to live off of us, haven't you, Mother? Even in death, we are your possessions, your very prized possessions, because from us you drew pride and haughtiness and self-importance. That's what we did for you in life, and that's what you mean we should do for you now. That's it. Isn't it, Mother?
Una, no. Forgive.
Forgive?
What went before. Forgive it.
Forgive? I've never heard you say that word.
Now I say it. Forgive me. All that I did. I beg of you, forgive me all my sins.
Father was right. This is a dream.
Forgive me, that I may lie quiet in my grave.
Oh, God, let me wake up. God, deliver me from this dream.
You don't hear me. Oh, Una, why don't you hear me?
Perhaps I fainted. I don't know. I suppose I did, because I remember nothing more until I was wakened by a knock on the door. I opened my eyes. I was lying on the floor next to the narrow bed, and the sun was streaming through the window. I got to my feet. Come in, Father. Ilya.
Are you all right, Una?
Yes, I'm all right.
You look so pale.
Oh, I had a bad night, a bad dream.
Yes, your father told me.
My father? He went to fetch you. That's why you're here?
I would have come back to you anyway. I only went to see my mother to ask her what she knows about vampires. All the old women were there. Wanda Baresti and all the others.
Oh, they must have filled you full of stories.
Una, when a whole town believes that a vampire is loose, they become terrified. A vampire, Una, is soulless, mindless energy on the march, knowing neither good nor evil, only its own desires. And the vampire must be killed, Una. Do you know why? Lest we become like the vampire. We can become like that, Una, unless a stake is driven through the vampire's heart.
And who is to do that?
You know.
Only a damn fire can kill a vampire.
A stake must be driven through the throat of the corpse. If blood spurts from the throat, it is proof that a vampire lived in that body.
Can I do such a thing to my own mother's corpse?
It must be done before the sun sets, or she'll walk abroad tonight.
Ilya, do you know that I thought she was here last night, in this very room? And she kept saying, forgive, forgive. And then, of course, I knew it was a dream, because my mother would never say such a thing as forgive.
She was asking you to forgive her?
Imagine a proud woman like my mother to say a thing like that.
You heard her say, forgive me?
In my dream, yes. I suppose it's because I hated her so much in life. I liked the idea that she was sorry for all the grief she'd caused us.
Una, listen. While I was at my mother's house, she told me that there had been cases now and then where a dead person returned night after night and terrified everyone because it was taken for granted that the dead one had become a vampire. But it wasn't always true. There were times when the dead one was what they call a returner.
A returner? What is that?
One who comes back, so my mother says, to ask forgiveness.
Are you telling me that my mother did come back last night, asking to be forgiven? That it was no dream?
It's possible, isn't it?
And if it is true, if she is a returner?
You must get a writ of absolution from the bishop and place it on her body.
How can I tell? How can I know that she is a returner and not a vampire?
You'll have to go through with it before sundown.
Oh, no. No. Drive a stake through my own mother's throat.
Una, more than half the village believes your mother has become a vampire. Marie wants you to move her body across the river.
And even my father is wearing the blackthorn in his coat.
And even I. When I heard the bat in the rafters, I thought it might be your mother. You must have the grave opened, Una, and the coffin. And before the sun goes down, you must drive the stake into your mother's throat. Then we shall see whether she is a returner or that foul creature of the night, a vampire.
Elia himself uncovered it open. I told my father what I meant to do before the sun went.
If you must, my daughter. If you think you must.
If she is really a vampire, Father, only I can do it. And I went to Peter and Marie.
You wouldn't ask me to do it, Una.
No, I wouldn't ask you, Peter.
You're very brave, Una. I'd have been content if you'd only moved her body across the river.
There's so much talk in the village. So much fear, so much horror. We must settle this thing once and for all. I went from house to house telling everyone to be by the graveside just before sunset. They looked at me with pity, some of them, others with revulsion. But all promised to be there, and so it happened. I wish to thank you all for coming here. You all know of the belief that is spread through our village. Many of you share in it. My own family leans toward it. The belief that the body of the woman who lies here is not a corpse, but the shell that houses a vile and loathsome being, a vampire. That this vampire threatens the lives of all of us, and the sanity, the spirit, and the soul of any who escape with their lives. Listen, I have here a stake. The sun is setting. While there is still a little light, I shall drive this stake through my mother's throat. If blood gushes forth, then I shall have killed a vampire. I shall also have murdered my mother. If no blood comes from the body, we will know that she is no more than a returner who is asking forgiveness for the wrong she did in life. As we all one day will have to ask for forgiveness for the wrong we have done.
Yes.
Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for yourselves. And if you can give her your forgiveness, the bishop will give her absolution. I hold the stake high for all of you to see. And now! There is no blood. Go. Send for the bishop. It's over. I've done it. And the mutilated body of my mother lies at my feet. Oh, let her release come soon.
I'll be back shortly.
Hi, Ms. Goldilocks here. Professionally taste-testing diet drinks can be very difficult, but I've just had to bear with it. Then I found sugar-free diet 7-Up. It doesn't taste like other diet drinks. It's fresh, light, natural, delicious. Sugar-free diet 7-Up tastes so good that I've taste-tested it hundreds of times, and each time I've given it my seal of approval. Yes, this one's just right.
If you thought you couldn't afford to fly to California this summer, TWA has some good news for you. You can. Thanks to TWA's demand schedule service, you can fly to California for only $125. Just make your reservations 90 days before you want to go and put down a $20 deposit for each way. For all the details, call your travel agent. TWA's demand schedule service. Now you can afford to fly to California.
Tell me frankly, wouldn't you like to sleep every night on a $100 mattress? Suppose you could get one for just $69. Why envy friends who sleep in luxury when Huffman Coos has just what you want at such a tremendous reduction? This fair-traded Stearns & Foster famous label bedding has never been on sale before. Now Huffman Coos has it exclusively at this special down-to-earth price. Why such a big reduction? Because of soaring costs. This $100 Stearns & Foster beauty has been discontinued. Huffman Coos bought the entire inventory to bring you this $69 twin-size price. Full-size mattresses or box springs, originally $120, are now just $89 each. Queen-size sets complete, $219. King-size sets complete, just $319. So go to Huffman Coos at once. No more when these are gone. Tell them we sent you. You'll be glad we did.
Our cast included Marion Seldes, Bryna Rayburn, William Johnston, and William Redfield. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, and I want very much to tell you the story of a young lady named Barbara. Everyone is more or less mad on one point, said Rudyard Kipling, the famous English writer. And I'm inclined to agree with him, since I myself am more or less mad on the point of mystery. But our sweet heroine's madness took a strange turn, as we shall soon discover in the unfolding of the tale entitled All Living Things Must Die. Our mystery drama, All Living Things Must Die, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Mercedes McCambridge. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, and by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Great taste in the morning. Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. You know, for years we've been talking about the Special K breakfast, a great way to start the day if you have a weight problem. You may have seen or heard our latest commercials, which symbolize the problem of being a few pounds overweight by using this ball and chain. That's the sound effect. But so many people have come to know the Special K breakfast that can help solve weight problems, they sometimes forget that Special K is America's favorite high-protein cereal. It has 8 essential vitamins and iron, and so delicious that lots of folks, kids as well as adults, eat Special K just for the sheer good taste of it. So we don't want you to think that you have to wear a ball and chain to eat Special K. All you need is an appreciation for the finer things of life, a 1-ounce bowl of Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, coffee, and maybe a little sugar. The Special K breakfast can help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
No matter what you're saving for, that's what Suburban Savings for Suburban.
Suburban Savings offers you an easy way to borrow without touching a penny in your regular savings passbook account. Just let Suburban loan you the money. It's called Suburban Savings Passbook Loan. You can borrow up to 90% of the total amount you have on deposit at reasonable rates, and you can pay off your loan at your convenience. When your loan is repaid, you still have all of your savings intact, plus interest. So if you need money, why not take a loan from Suburban without touching your savings? Suburban Savings Passbook Loan in New Jersey at Bayonne, Edgewater, Elmwood Park, Emerson, Hackettstown, Morris Plains, Nutley, Paramus, and Sparta.
Now begins our story of the lightly demented Barbara. A lovely lady of 31 or 2, even 4 or 5. But as we now discover her in the living room of her suburban home, she could be younger than springtime. She could be spring itself.
I love you. I love you all. You are my darlings, my pets, my very own treasures. Oh, how beautiful you are, and how much I love you. What? Oh, that can't be Frank. He never forgets his key. Oh, it's...
Johnson, ma'am. Detective Sergeant Johnson from the other day.
Oh, yes. Come in. I didn't realize you'd be back.
Well, I was just checking up. Had any more of those obscene phone calls?
No, not one. And it's such a relief you can't imagine.
Mm-hmm. You had your number changed?
Yes. And that seems to have done the trick all right.
Well, good. Now, a lady like you shouldn't be bothered by things like that.
Well, there's one other thing, and I hate to mention it.
No. Go ahead. Mention anything you want to. We're here to serve.
Well, it could be my imagination, but every once in a while, I see a man sort of hanging around across the street, not doing anything in particular, but just hanging around.
Mm-hmm. Any special time of day?
Yes, usually about this time. I see him through this window when I'm putting my plants to bed.
Oh, you tuck them in, do you?
Well, sort of. I talk to them, and sometimes I sing them a lullaby. I know that sounds silly, but, well, that's what I do. And then sometimes through the window, I think I see this man.
Well, it's kind of hard to see out this window, ma'am. The plants sort of get in the way.
Yes, I know they do, but they like it here. I tried other places, but they weren't happy, so...
They are happy here, huh?
Well, they haven't complained. Although I'm not sure about Annabelle. This one is Annabelle. That's Arthur. And that's Kenneth. Mm-hmm. And this is Marianne. And that spider plant over there is Michael.
Oh, Michael's in great shape, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is. Are you laughing at me? Please don't.
Do I look like I'm laughing?
My husband laughs at me sometimes.
I wouldn't know why.
Oh, because... Now, you see this one, Marianne?
Mm-hmm.
Will you take a close look, because you won't see a Marianne every day in the week.
Well, Marianne is, well, she looks like ivy to me.
Yes, but her leaves are heart-shaped. Can't you see? Each one is shaped like a perfect little heart.
You know, you're right.
Yes.
There are more than 200 varieties of ivy. Did you know that?
No, I never did.
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, Frank. He's my husband. Frank, this is Detective Sergeant Johnson.
Ed Johnson.
How are you?
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Murray.
He came to check up on those phone calls.
Oh, yeah, from the degenerate. I told Barbara she should answer him back in his own language.
Oh, Frank, please.
Let him have it. Give it to him right between the eyes. The ears, I should say, in this instance.
Well, I'll be getting along.
Well, I'll show you to the door.
Say, listen, why can't you catch those freaks?
Thank you for coming around, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, sure. I'll stop by again if it's all right with you.
Oh, anytime, practically. I'm almost always here.
And, take good care of Annabelle.
Oh, I will.
And don't let Michael grow too fast.
I'll do my best.
Good night, Mrs. Murray.
Good night, Sergeant Johnson. And thank you.
Now, don't you mention it.
What was all that about?
Well, I told you. The phone calls.
I mean, all that whispering, all that bzz at the door just now.
Oh, we weren't whispering.
Well, what were you talking about? That I wasn't supposed to hear?
Nothing. He just said, I don't know, something about the plants, that's all.
What does he know about plants?
Well, nothing much. When he was here the first time, and just now before you came in, I told him about them. He knows that I talked to them and that they have names. He was just being friendly, Frank.
That's being friendly? Dropping in all the time when I'm not here?
Only twice. This was only the second time.
He's a kook like you. Freaked out over a bunch of plants.
Well, he was only expressing an interest.
What's interesting about a bunch of plants with no flowers? Look at them. They take up the whole window. You got them strung all over the place, up to the ceiling, hanging down.
They're vines, Frank. There's silver lace and philodendron and ivy.
Oh, whatever they are, they're dumb. Plain dumb. I wouldn't object to a nice pot of tulips, something like that, sitting on a table. Like a nice spot of color or a hyacinth. They smell good. But these things...
Don't hurt them, don't.
I got no use for them at all. Get rid of them, why don't you?
No, never. You can't make me.
Oh, boy, you sure cry easy. What did I say was so terrible?
You said get rid of them.
Well, all right. Forget I mentioned this. What's for dinner?
It's Swiss steak.
Again?
Well, it's been a whole week.
Well, get it on the table, because I got to get out of here early.
You mean you're going out?
I got a date to go bowling.
Tonight?
Well, certainly tonight. What do you think, next year?
But you were out last night, and the night before.
And I may go out tomorrow night, and the night after that, so what?
Frank, I get so lonely.
Well, read a book, watch TV, listen to the radio.
But almost every night and all day.
Well, all right, talk to your plants. That's what you got them for, isn't it? Have a nice little conversation with Michael and Mary Louise and Archibald, whatever you call them.
Never mind. Just never mind.
Well, look, I'm going to take a quick shower and then we'll eat. 10 minutes on the outside, okay?
Okay. Oh, Arthur. Annabelle. Tell me that you love me. Marianne, do you love me? Michael. Kenneth. Oh, somebody love me. Please. Somebody love me or I'll die.
That Swiss steak wasn't bad at all.
Thank you.
Got any dessert?
Just fruit.
I'll take an apple with me.
Frank, don't go for a minute.
Well, I told you I got a date.
No, I want to talk to you about something.
I'll go ahead, but keep it short, will you?
Oh, Frank, remember when we got married?
Well, how could I forget with you to remind me?
Well, you said then that you didn't want to have any children right away.
I don't believe in rushing into things like that.
Frank, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
But isn't it different now?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I think I'm too old for kids.
Oh, you're only 45.
And by the time my kid grew up, I'd be an old man.
No, not really old.
Well, aren't you kind of old to be having a kid for the first time?
Frank, lots of women have children at my age. Lots of them.
I don't know if it's safe.
Yes, it is. It happens all the time, and I'm very healthy. I'm very strong.
You don't look too strong.
Well, I am, because the doctor said so.
When did you go to see a doctor?
Last week.
I don't like you doing that without asking me first.
Well, I wanted to be sure before I talked to you. And the doctor says it'd be perfectly all right for me to have a baby. As a matter of fact, he said it'd be the best thing in the world for me.
Well, I can't see it.
On account of the loneliness, Frank, I don't think you realize how lonely I get. That's why I talk to the plants and sing to them. Because I haven't got anybody else.
Well, make some friends, why don't you?
That's not easy for me.
Well, why not? I do it all the time.
Anyway, it's not the same as having somebody right here in the house with me all the time. It's not the same intimate kind of thing. If I had a baby... Oh, Frank, I wouldn't ask for anything else ever. And I'd give that baby so much love and attention. It would grow up to be the most marvelous person because it would know from the very beginning that it was loved and wanted. Oh, so much wanted.
Well, I don't want it. You got that? A kid is the last thing in the world I want.
Please.
No. I live in this house, too, you know. I don't want a kid running around, messing up everything, making a lot of noise, getting in the way all the time.
No, it wouldn't be like that.
Oh, yes, it would. No, I won't have a kid messing up my life, and that's final, so forget it, huh? You hear me? Forget it. Put it out of your mind. Okay? Well, I gotta get going. Guys are waiting for me at the bowling.
Frank.
All right, now what?
No, I won't keep you a minute.
I haven't got a minute.
Please, less than a minute.
Well, okay, spill it.
When I was at the supermarket this morning, there was this dog.
A dog? Oh, boy.
Really, a very pretty dog, and so sweet. And he was just wandering around. Nobody knew who he belonged to, or if he belonged to anybody. He's just a stray, as far as anybody knows.
No dog.
And he has this cute little tail that curls up right over his back, and great ears that stand up straight and then flop over. And he's mostly black with a kind of white face.
Barbara, we've been through all this. I will not have a dog in my house. Now, that is how it is, and I don't want to talk about it now or never. You understand that?
Yes.
I gotta go.
Frank?
I said I gotta go.
Just one more thing. There's this man hanging around outside.
What man? Hanging around where?
I was telling Detective Johnson about it. This man sort of hangs around across the street. And I thought, if he's a prowler or a dangerous kind of person, well, a dog would be protection for me, see, when I'm alone.
What makes you think this guy's dangerous?
I don't know that he is, but every night now when I'm watering the plants just before you come home, I can see him through the window, just sort of standing there and looking around.
This window?
Yes. He looks kind of shifty, Frank. And if I had a dog, I'd feel safe.
I can't see it.
Yes, right across the street.
I can't see on account of these dumb plants.
Don't hurt them.
Why do you have to grow them so damn long?
Just part them very carefully. Here, let me.
Oh, no, I can do it.
There. Can you see that man?
I see him. Barbara, you're a nut, you know that?
Why am I?
That's the guard they hired at the high-rise. They pay him to watch the building. Of course he's here every night. That's what he's paid for.
I didn't know that.
Are you trying to con me into letting you have a dog for protection? But it won't work, Barbara. The answer's still the same. No dog, no baby. Just be happy with these dumb plants. They're bad enough. Taking up the whole bloody window, spilling all over the place.
I hate you.
Yeah, look, I'll let you keep them.
I hate you. I wish you were dead.
What did you say?
I said I hate you. I wish you were dead.
Did you really say... Hey, what? What's this? The bloody plants are on my neck. Hey, Barbara, they're all around me. They're choking me. I can't get them off. Hey, Barbara, they're too strong. Barbara, don't stand there. Get them off.
No.
Get the scissors. Barbara, the scissors.
I hate you. I hate you. I want you dead.
We'll return shortly for the second act of All Living Things Must Die.
Hi, I'm I'm Goldilocks, Ms. Goldilocks, if you please, and I'm a professional taste tester. Here at my taste test laboratory, that's TTL for short, I taste test everything from porridge to diet drinks. Actually, there's not that much taste testing in porridge these days. There used to be. Once upon a time. I mean, that's how this Ms. got into the biz. But lately it's been diet drinks. I mean, with so many diet drinks going sugar-free, I've been really busy conducting taste tests. A rather unbearable assignment, to be sure. But then I discovered sugar-free diet 7-Up. Fresh, natural, delicious. My only problem is that sugar-free diet 7-Up tastes so good that it broke my Goldilocks diet drink taste-o-meter. Well, sugar-free diet 7-Up certainly has my seal of approval. This one's just right.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what you got?
It's time to get ready for the great outdoors, and your ShopRite supermarket has everything you'll need for cookout dinners and fun in the sun. And for this week's dinners, ShopRite is featuring whole grade A frying chickens, just 37 cents a pound. Roasting chickens up to 4 pounds, 47 cents a pound. Choice rib steaks, $1.19 a pound. ShopRite Franks, 89 cents a pound. Get all your outdoor cooking equipment and many great food values at your ShopRite supermarket.
She loves the family. She wants the best. She does all that she can do. She lets ShopRite do the rest. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? ShopRite has the answer.
Macy's store-wide spring sale blossoms all this week with beautiful values in every department, every Macy's store. Values like a 40-piece Nyko ironstone service for $8, regularly $55, now just $39.99. And hand-cut lead crystal selection of Hostess items, regularly $15 to $25, now $9.99 to $14.99. Save in every department all this week. Macy's store-wide spring sale. This is WOR New York and RKO General Station.
Now for the second act of All Living Things Must Die. It is a year later, and our heroine no longer lives in the little suburban house, nor is her name Barbara Murray. She lives in a cheery little 2-room apartment, and she is married to Detective Sergeant Ed Johnson. But Kenneth and Arthur and Mary Ann and Michael and Annabelle, all the plants are grouped together in the largest window, and all appear to be in the best of health.
Baby boat's a silver moon sailing on the sea. Oh, he's home. Ed?
Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, darling.
Hey, watch out.
What have you got there?
Oh, just a little addition to the family.
What? What is it?
Well, let me get the paper off, will you?
Okay.
How's that, huh?
Ed. Oh, it's beautiful.
You know what it's called?
Yes, do you?
Sure, purple passion plant.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I thought it was very appropriate for two people who've been married a month.
Oh, it is, Ed. It's beautiful. And you were so sweet to think of it.
Well, there's something else I've been thinking of.
What's that?
Honey, is it too soon for us to be thinking about having a baby?
A baby?
Well, you do want us to have a baby, don't you, Barbara?
Well, I guess so.
I brought the subject up too soon. I can see that. Dumb me. I'm sorry.
No, that's right.
No. I was stupid. Forget I mentioned it, huh? Only, it doesn't do any harm to think about it a little, does it?
No. I guess it doesn't do any harm to think about it. Oh, Cleopatra. You're growing very nicely, dear. It would take a little while before you'll be as long as Annabelle. And you'll probably never be as long as Michael. But then very few plants are. But you're so healthy and strong. And I love your purple leaves. You're very beautiful, my darling. Yes, you are. Oh, he's home. Darling, you're home.
Yep, I'm home. Hey, look what I brought with me.
Why? Oh, no, it's a dog.
Uh-huh.
Oh, isn't he darling?
Yeah. He wandered into the station house about a week ago. We've been feeding him, and he's been sleeping there.
Look, his tail curls up over his back.
Yeah, he's got a great disposition.
Oh, my. Doesn't he
he belong to anybody.
Well, we advertised in the paper 3 days running. Nobody answered the ad.
You mean he's got no home? Nobody wants him?
Well, not unless you do.
You mean I can have him? He can live here with us?
Well, would you like
Oh,
that?
yes.
Dog, I guess you got a home.
Oh, I love him.
Dog, you got yourself a mother.
Look at him. Look how he's looking at you.
Yeah. Come here, dog. Come here.
Oh, he loves you. You can see it in his eyes. He just loves you.
Well, I'm his father, aren't I? Hey, dog, do you love your father?
Of course he loves you. How could he help but love you? How could anybody help but love you?
Well, there's only one person has to love me. That's you. But you have to, baby. It's absolutely necessary. It's essential that you love me, because if you don't, it's the end of me.
Oh, Ed, I love you so much. I can't even talk about it. Just believe me. I love you, and I love you, and I love you. When you're here and when you're not here, and when you're asleep and when you're awake, and when you talk and when you don't talk, and when you look at me and when you don't. I love you all the time.
Hey, that's a lot of love.
I've got more.
More?
Anytime you need it.
Barbara. Honey, look, we've been married better than half a year now. When are we going to start having a baby?
Oh, I don't know.
Pretty soon?
I guess.
You want one, don't you, honey?
Yes.
Well, when do we?
Well, sometime.
Well, sweetheart, we're not kids anymore.
I know that.
You think I'm putting the pressure on you? No, I shouldn't do that. I didn't mean to.
No, that's all right.
No, I won't do that anymore. You just got to tell me when you think is the right time. I won't bother about it anymore. Now, what are we going to name the dog?
I don't know.
How about Cuthbert or Lance?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Herman? Dwight?
No, I don't want to give him any name like that. I want to call him what you called him.
Me? I never called him
Yes,
anything.
you did. You called him Dog. That's what I want to call him.
D-A-W-G? Dog?
Yes, come here, Dog.
Hey.
Oh, what a lovely dog you are, Dog. Hi, darling.
Hello, love. How do you feel?
I feel marvelous.
Well, you look marvelous. How's the family?
Well, I've been giving Annabelle a little too much water, but everybody else is fine.
Oh, I brought you a present. A first anniversary present.
Well, I have one for you, too.
Here. That's an engagement ring. You never had one.
Oh, Ed, this is lovely.
Do you like it?
Oh, yes, I love it. Almost as much as I love you, and Dog, and Annabelle, and Kevin.
Hey, watch it.
And I got you a ring, too.
What?
Yes, a wedding ring, because you never had one.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's real nice. Is it okay for a man to wear this?
Well, it just shows everybody that you're married.
Well, everybody knows I'm married.
Does everybody really know you're married?
Well, I talk about it all the time.
Do
They
you
sure-
really? Do you
sure.
talk about it?
Well, I'm married to you, so naturally it's you I talk about.
I bet you bore everybody to tears.
Yeah, I bet I do. Of course, there always comes a time when they break in and say, any kids? You got any kids?
Yes, I suppose they do say that.
And, of course, I say no, and they say, well, why not? And I don't know what to say.
Ed, I'm so sorry.
Honey, why not? You have to tell me.
Well, it's a feeling that I have.
Well, don't you want to, baby? I always thought you were the kind of woman who'd want a family.
It's hard to explain.
Well, you've got to try.
Okay, I'll try. Only yet I don't think you're going to like what I'm going to tell you.
Anything. I want to hear anything you have to tell me.
Well, I have to go back to the night that Frank died.
Frank?
Yeah.
What's Frank got to do with it?
I'm going to tell you if you listen.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Well, you remember when I called you that night and I told you that Frank was dead? You remember that?
Yeah, sure. Of course I remember.
And you came over with the others and you asked me how it happened.
Yeah?
And I said I didn't know. I said that Frank was going to go out bowling and he must have been in a hurry. And the room was dark. And he must have stumbled into the plants and got tangled up in them and he couldn't get out.
Yeah, but he was strangled by the plants, baby. It was a freak accident.
No, that isn't what happened at all.
Honey, are you trying to tell me... I don't know. Are you trying to tell me that you pushed him or something? That you wrapped the plants around his neck?
I didn't.
All right, now, wait a minute. Maybe you better tell it to me from the beginning.
Well, you remember Frank came home that day while you were still here.
Uh-huh.
And then you left. And he told me to hurry up with dinner because he was going out. And I got upset. I told him I get so lonely here. Lonely every night. Almost every day.
Read a book, watch TV, listen to the radio, talk to your plants. That's what you got them for, isn't it?
So after dinner, I said, I wanted to talk to him about having a baby.
A kid is the last thing in the world I want.
And I think maybe it was then that I got the idea.
What idea?
It just seemed awfully important to me to get Frank over by the window where the plants were hanging. So I told him that there'd been a man hanging around outside across the street.
What man? Hanging around where?
And he started walking toward the window. And I started feeling this awful, wild excitement. The nearer he got to the window, the nearer he got to the plants. And then I said it.
Said what, honey?
I hate you. I said, I hate you. At first, Frank didn't hear me. Or maybe he didn't believe his ears, but I said it again. I hate you. And then I said, I wish you were dead. He heard me say that.
Then what happened?
He started to look angry, and he made a little move toward me, and it was then, when he started to move, that the plants moved. They moved faster than anyone would think plants could move, and they wound themselves around his neck, around and around, and tighter and tighter. And Frank began to choke.
Barbara, they're all around my neck. They're choking me.
Oh, no.
I can't get them off. Don't stand there. Get them off. Get the scissors.
No.
Barbara, the scissors.
Because there were scissors there, you know, on the windowsill. And Frank couldn't reach them because the plants were holding him so tight and tighter all the time. And I knew the scissors were there. I kept them there all the time, just the way I do now, to cut off the dead leaves and things. But I didn't move. I just stood there, repeating those awful words. I hate you. I hate you. I wish you were dead.
Barbara. No. Barbara.
I watched his face turn purple and then blue. And then he dropped to the floor. And I watched him drop. And I looked at him. But all I said was, dead.
Oh, darling.
I listened to the plants for a while. They seemed to be telling me, see how we love you. See, we'll do anything you ask. We are your true loves. We've killed for you. Now you know how much we love you. And then I went to the phone and called you.
Darling, you had a bad dream, that's all.
No, it wasn't a dream. I made the plants do what they did, don't you see? I said I wanted Frank dead, and they heard me. Or they felt what I was feeling, or they sensed it, or something. And because they love me, and because they know that I'd never kill anybody,
of course
they
not.
went ahead and did it for me.
Sweetheart, even if what you say is true, if it could be
It
true,
is
you
true.
never laid a finger on
But
Frank.
I'm an accessory, don't you see? I wanted someone to kill Frank. Not me, but someone. And the plants knew it, and they killed him for me.
Do you think anybody's going to believe you, sweetheart?
Ed, do you believe me?
Honey, is this why you don't want to have a baby?
Oh, I want to, but
But what?
that's how it all started. Me asking Frank if I could have a baby.
Why don't you try asking me? You know what kind of an answer you'll get, don't you? Go ahead. Ask me.
Ed, is it all right? Is it? Hello. This is Mrs. Ed Johnson. Yes. Well, I saw the doctor a couple of days ago, and he was going to have a test made to see if I... Oh, you can't tell me. It is? Really? Really? Oh, yes, I believe you. Thank you very much. It's true. It's really true, dog. Michael, Marianne, I'm going to have a baby. Annabelle, it's true. Kenneth, Cleopatra, Arthur, finally, I'm going to have a baby. What do you think about that? Are you pleased? Are you happy? Tell me what you think, because you're very important to me. Yes, you're my best friend. I'm not young anymore, and there are people who think I'm, well, strange. I'm too emotional, that's what they think. And they may be right. How do I know? So please, tell me, because I trust you. Is it all right? for me to have a baby? You really think so?
Ed, it's true. I just called the doctor's office and they told me it's true. I'm going to have a baby, Ed. Tell me, is it really all right?
We'll be back shortly with Act 3.
When you say Budweiser,
when you say Bud, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say Bud, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. Yeah. When you say Bud, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beer.
there is no other
No other one.
There's only something less.
Something less.
The king of beer is beating all the rest.
When you say Budweiser, you said it all. You said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Macy's store-wide spring sale blossoms all this week with beautiful values in every department, every Macy's store. Values like all wool pile oriental design rugs, regularly $200, now just $150. Save in the rug department on worsted wool, imported, woven Saruk, and Kerman designs. Save in every department all this week. Macy's store-wide spring sale.
Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad for things that make a happy day? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad you found the love to grow and stay? Aren't you glad that we're pulling together? Aren't you glad that we're feeling free? Aren't you glad? 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 Aren't you glad just to be? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad for feeling cool and clean all day? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad you've done your best to stay that way? Aren't you glad? Glad we're getting together. Aren't you glad that the people smile? Aren't you glad? You use style. Aren't you glad? You use style. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad? You use style. Aren't you glad?
We're still in a little two-room apartment, and the plants still hang in the window, but everything else is different, for it is precisely 8 months since we last heard her voice.
They're gone. Ed, they're gone.
What's that, honey?
The movers have gone. They took the last chair out just now.
Oh.
I hope they don't break anything.
Oh, sweetie, they won't. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I don't worry about anything anymore.
Do you mean that?
Sometimes I try to worry, because after all, I used to worry all the time. I mean, I worried all my life, but now I can't worry. I've forgotten how. It's being pregnant.
Well, maybe I ought to try it.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you, you know that.
How come?
Being a man. You can't ever be happy the way I'm happy.
I've got my own way.
I feel so complete, so...
So fulfilled?
I guess so. As though there'd been something missing from the day I was born. And now I've got it. I was so unfinished before, but now... I'm complete.
Just you wait till we get settled in the new apartment, baby. Wait till we get the little baby's room decorated and the crib moved in and all that other stuff.
Shouldn't we go over there now?
Well, I suppose we ought to give the movers time to get there.
No, I want to go now. I can't wait.
Yeah, neither can I. Oh, honey.
Isn't it wonderful how we always seem to feel the same way?
Oh, honey, you never have that other feeling anymore, do you?
What feeling?
You know about how Frank died, the plant.
Oh, that.
You don't ever feel that maybe you shouldn't have a baby.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, when you first found out, you weren't too sure.
Oh, but that was 8 months ago. That was before I started feeling the baby grow. Before I knew that it was going to be my baby, my child. And then I knew that if there ever was anything that was right, having this baby was that thing.
And Frank, you ever think about him, about that night?
I'm not sure it ever happened. I'm not sure it happened the way I said. I think probably you were right. I dreamed the whole thing.
It was an accident, Barbara. Frank and the plants. It was a freak accident.
I guess so. Now, come on, let's go over to the new apartment. Movers ought to be almost there.
Yeah, okay. I'll take the plants down.
Oh, no. I want to do that.
No, honey, no. I don't want you doing things like that. Not now. 8 months. Holy cow.
Oh, don't be silly. I know just how they're tied up because I did it myself in the first place. Come on, hand me the scissors. They're right there.
Baby.
Now you cut the strings.
I think I ought to.
No, really. They wouldn't like anybody else touching them. I know what you can do. You can get those cartons we saved to pack them in and all that tissue paper. Go on, you do that. That'd be a big help.
Okay, if you say so. Oh, here's the scissors.
Right. Only take a minute.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Now then, here we go. Now, Cleopatra, let's get you down first. No, Michael, you'll have to wait until last because you're so long and strong. It'd be hard to separate you from the others. Oh, gee, it's hard to reach. I don't know if I can... Oh, maybe I should have let Ed take you down. My arms hurt. Isn't that funny? I never had any trouble before. Well, of course, it's being pregnant. It's this baby I'm carrying around with me. Are you a boy? Or are you a girl? Or are you twins? I think you're twins. Wouldn't that be heavenly? An old lady like me having twins. A boy and a girl. Oh, I don't care. I don't care about anything anymore. Except my husband and my child. I don't even care about the plants. Isn't that strange? For so long, so many years, they were my dearest friends. They were my only friends. And now, they just don't matter anymore. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave them. Right here. You don't need them. We've got a new place to live. We're going to have a baby. We have each other. We don't need these old plants anymore. They can just stay right here. Ed! I just decided that we don't... Ooh. No, don't. Get away. Get away from me. Ed, it's the plants. They're choking me. Ed, the plants.
Yeah, I got the cart. Barbara. Oh, my God.
They're choking me. The scissors. Quick. I can't breathe.
All right, I've got him. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Barbara. It's all right. Barbara, it's going to be all right. What'd the doctor say?
He says I'm all right. I can go home.
Did you tell him?
How could I tell him? I made up something. I said I got tangled up in the clothesline. That was the first thing that came into my head. Anyhow, he didn't ask me many questions because he could see that I wasn't really hurt. I was just scared.
Oh, you sure had me scared.
Well, they didn't hurt me much, really, the plants.
Well, why should they hurt you at all? You love those plants.
Ed. While I was taking them down, it was harder than I thought it would be, and my arms got tired.
Well, I told you to let me do it.
And I stopped for a minute, and then I thought, why am I bothering with these plants? Taking them down and carting them to the new place and then putting them up all over again. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave them. I'm happy. I've got everything I want. I don't need them. I even think I said that out loud. And they heard me.
Now, Barbara.
But it wouldn't have made any difference. They didn't have to hear me say it out loud. Because they knew what I was thinking.
Honey.
No, you see, you can't live that close to somebody for so long and so close without knowing what she's thinking. And they knew that I was going to go off and leave them. After all our years together, I was going to abandon them. I didn't care anymore what happened to them. And they knew that.
Oh, no, it's just hard to conceive of plants.
They wouldn't have killed me, Ed. They didn't even really mean to hurt me. They were just saying, don't go. Or if you must go, take us with you. You can see that, can't you?
All I know is I came into the room and I saw you with the vines around your throat and you were saying, choking me, get the scissors. Well, I got those scissors so fast. They were right there on the windowsill, and I cut those vines so fast. Boy, you had me worried, baby.
Oh, you must have fainted by then.
Yeah, and I picked you up and put you in the car, and you came to before we got to the hospital.
And here I am, and I'm all right.
Yeah. Barbara, you don't suppose I hurt the plants, do you? I just slashed away.
Well, I don't suppose you cut them down very carefully.
Oh, heck no.
Oh, they'll be all right. I'll trim them properly when we get back.
You're, not going to leave them there? You're going to take them to the new apartment?
Yes. Yes, I am. I don't know what I was thinking of. How could I just go off and leave the things that I've loved and that have loved me. I can't walk out on them. I forgot that. And they were trying to remind me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But then you always are.
Well, I'm right about this.
Yeah. Well, let's go, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Cleopatra.
Why, poor Cleopatra?
Well, I knocked her on the floor.
You what?
Yeah, when I was trying to cut you loose, I knocked Cleopatra on the floor, broke the pot and everything.
You mean she's lying there? The pot is broken and she's lying there on the floor with no dirt?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, Ed, come on.
Now, Barbara.
No, hurry up. We've got to get there before she dies.
Look, honey, please, let me do it.
There she is. There's Cleopatra.
Let me do it, honey. You just stay there. Let me
Look
pick
out,
her up.
Ed. They're angry. Ed, they're coming for you.
No, it's all right.
Ed, please get out of the way. Stand back. Let me do it.
You think they're going to let you do it?
Of course they are. Of course they are. Aren't you, my darling? Aren't you? Ed, hand me that earthen pot, the one right there. No. Your roots haven't been out of the earth for very long, my love. Now, gently. No, I'm not hurting her. See, Michael? I'm being very gentle. I'm putting the good earth in the pot. See, Michael? Ed, get me some water, just a little.
Honey, I don't like leaving you
Don't
here.
be silly. I'll be perfectly all right.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Now, you see, Michael? I'm scooping up every last bit of the nice brown earth, and I'm sifting it through my fingers. See, Annabelle? See, all of you? Oh, very carefully with the beautiful, loose brown earth.
Here you are.
Now, we put a little water in. Not very much, because the earth wasn't very dry. There's some plant food on the windowsill.
Yeah, I got it. Here you are.
Now, we mix just a little of it into the soil. There we are, like that. And now, Cleopatra, my love, let me pick you up. I'll hold you for a second. And don't be frightened, my dear. No. And put your little roots into the dirt. Very gently, very carefully. And press the dirt down around them. And then we add the rest of the dirt, almost to the top. And we press it down. Not too hard, just enough to make you feel safe and secure. There we are. You see, Michael? Marianne? Annabelle, see? She's going to be all right.
You think she really will be?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm going to set her here on the windowsill. And let the sun pour all over her.
Well, shouldn't you start taking down the other plants?
No, not yet. They've had an awful shock.
Yeah, but honey, the furniture movers at the other apartment, they must be going crazy wondering where we are.
Well, you go. You take the car and go over there.
What about you?
Come back for me later.
Okay. Like, in an hour?
Well, make it a couple of hours.
Okay, baby.
Baby boats of silver moon sailing on the sea. Yes, my dear ones, rest, my darling. Sail, baby, sail out across the sea. Only don't forget to sail home again to me. Only don't forget to sail home again to me.
The next time you pass by a plant, stop and look. Make a little bow or tip your hat. And if its leaves flutter and make a sound, listen. It may be trying to tell you something. I'll be back shortly.
Commuting. We're big on that. Time is money in the business world. That's why Ozark offers commuter flights that get you there and back the same day. Don't ever let a few hundred miles stand between you and big business opportunities. If you're long on work but short on time, let Ozark make your day pay off. Commuting, we're big on that. Jet to Champaign-Urbana, Peoria, and Springfield, Illinois. Call Ozark or your travel agent. Macy's store-wide spring sale blossoms all this week with beautiful values in every department, every Macy's store. Values like Lee's Broadloom. Save $2 to $4 a square yard installed over sponge rubber padding. 35 styles, 500 colors. Regularly $12.99 to $21.99 a square yard. Now sale priced $9.99 to $17.99. Save in every department all this week. Macy's store-wide spring sale.
Our cast included Mercedes McCambridge, Larry Haynes, and Ralph Bell. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The WR Mystery Theater has been brought to you by ShopRite Supermarkets, where you get a lot more for a little less, and by Suburban Savings with offices throughout North Jersey. The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network.
Would you like a shout out? Leave a comment in the section below. Tell me who you want to shout out to, who you want to shout out from, and we'll get it up here for you. Hey, we want to say thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any. You got a lot more of these up there. Go check them out under the playlist. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you want to see, what you think, and we'll see you next time.